You're obviously not for democracy.
Why would you say that?
I just get that feeling.
You didn't even ask anything about me to know why would I be against democracy?
I don't know. You tell me. What we want is to kill all the babies. That's it.
What's more important, butterfly migration pathways or making sure women and children aren't being raped and killed by gang members coming across the border?
Well, most women and children are actually raped and killed by their husbands and family members, statistically. If we could process the backlog, then we might actually get some of them convicted.
Until then, we should just probably let them come across.
Honestly, I'd be fine with that.
Look at her shirt. We're asking people to grade Donald Trump on a scale of A through F. What letter would you give him?
F.
An F? And what about you, sir?
An F.
An F? Why would you give him an F?
Because I hate just about everything he's done since he entered office.
Okay.
He has completely alienated America from everybody else. He has cut all the aid, not only to the rest of the world, but also to Americans.
He's cut all the aid?
Yes. Well, pretty much. Let me put
Okay.
it this way. It's not like it was. So.
Okay. In what ways is it
and
different?
I feel less free because he is in the White House.
Okay. In what ways, what freedoms of yours have been stripped away that you feel less free?
It's just the main feeling because we don't, I don't do anything that, and I'm not threatened by my neighbors or anything. There's just a general feeling everywhere I go, especially when I'm wearing a shirt like this. I get picked off by whoever voted for Trump. That's who I'll call them. And they don't like it. They laugh or they just go, "Oh, you get one of these." So that happens a lot.
Could you avoid that for yourself if it really bothers you that much
I
by
don't
not
care.
wearing? Oh, okay.
That's the thing.
Well,
I'm
okay.
a Democrat all the way, 100%,
Sure,
and I'm going to be till I die.
Okay.
So, and I know right now Democrats have a lot of problems. We need to get rid of Schumer.
Why do you say
at the
that?
very least, he's too old. Just
Okay.
like Donald Trump's too old.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think Mom Donnie winning was a good thing?
Sure, for New York City, I think it was a great thing.
Yeah. So he wants to legalize prostitution. Do you think that's okay?
It's fine with me.
Okay.
I'm not doing it. No one I know is doing it. It's. You know what? It's okay with me. I'd rather have it that way than the way it is now, with women being killed when they're doing, undercover prostitution, and it would probably be safer for everyone.
If prostitution was legalized?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when prostitution is legalized, it allows avenues for that activity.
I know, to go into things like sex trafficking,
Yeah.
which also reminds me of Donald Trump because of the Epstein files.
Right. Well, he's not the one wanting to legalize prostitution in
I know he's not.
America's
But you know
biggest
what?
city.
I think if he could, he would. But
Well,
see,
you
that
would
wasn't
do it
good on his
too.
base.
Well, you can't blame Trump for that because you just said you would believe in it too.
I believe in it. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
Okay. So back to the freedoms question. How do you feel less free? What freedoms have been stripped from you?
One, the freedom of us, we're going to be going to a foreign country. I don't really want to let people know we're Americans, but I guess I can't help it.
So what freedom, what right
okay.
is that?
It's fear. It's general fear
So
in your overall life, okay? I'm worried about some of the people that live around me because of ICE. I don't know if they're illegal. I don't care.
Then why are
They're
you
not
worried about
causing
them?
any problems, because it could happen, because it has all over the country.
Are you profiling maybe people with brown skin?
No, I'm not.
Okay, because you said you don't know if they're illegal or not, but you're worried for them. Why would you be worried for those people?
Anybody of color in this country is under attack and has been.
What proof do you have for
just
that?
This year, but
What proof do you have for that?
Systemic racism.
Okay.
End it.
Where do we
the
see
solution.
systemic
Everywhere.
racism? Okay.
Oh, really? We're in Lakeland, Florida, the good old boy network of the world. Everything is done by the patriarchal figures that are in this town and have been for years. So
Okay.
I've lived here my whole life. I know what it's like to be in Lakeland and to live here and be surrounded by, about 1980, mostly Republicans. Before that, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was pretty evenly split. But as soon as like Newt Gingrich and all that crap came in, all that started, and
Okay. Because
so
just a little bit of feedback.
you're obviously not I mean, for democracy. You're
Why would
obviously
you
for
say
Trump.
that?
I just get that feeling.
You didn't even ask anything about me to know.
I know.
Why would I be against democracy?
I don't know. You tell me.
You made that claim. Why would you assume that?
Because I think you voted for Trump. That's
Why
all
would
I
you
need
say
to know.
that?
What? I
Just because I'm
think
pushing
you
back on
did.
what the things you say? Well, just some feedback. When you say that you feel less
I don't really want
free,
your feedback if you want to know the truth, because I'm not interested.
I know.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm done now. So thank you very
Yeah.
much.
So if you're less free,
Like I said, I'm done now.
it's,
Thank you very
you're
much.
kind of just rooting things in feelings. I've not heard one freedom that's actually been taken from you at all.
Freedom from fear.
You don't have a freedom from
You know what?
fear. Do you know where that
what?
is in the
You know what?
Constitution?
Franklin Roosevelt said the 10 freedoms that the freedoms that we have. That was one of them, freedom from fear. I didn't feel it until Trump got elected both times.
Okay.
That's it.
Any constitutional rights? You don't have a constitutional right from fear, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a personal thing.
There's a thing about pursuit of happiness and all that stuff, so
Yeah, but you don't.
maybe you.
Also, there is the right to life, which I have a feeling you do not support either. So, if we're going to talk about the pursuit of happiness, she's coming back.
If men could get abortions, there'd be one clinic on every corner.
Yeah.
They're
Why
just
can't men get
oppressing
abortions?
Women. I don't know. You asked.
Yeah. Why can't men get abortions?
Let's ask media. Let's
Yeah,
ask
because
media.
they're not
Let's ask
women,
the
right?
medical Fields.
Yeah. But your party loves to try and say that men can be women.
Right. You are right 100%.
Thank you.
All we want is to kill all the babies. That's it.
You
I
do?
have 2 babies of my own. You think I wanted to kill them? No. You know what? I didn't.
Okay.
And
Abortion
you don't
is
have
murder.
to have an abortion if you don't want one.
Right.
And that is true in this country, at least
Just
for
get your
now.
finger out of my face, though. So, do you admit abortion is murder? She just admitted that abortion is murder. She said, we want to kill all the babies. Then came over and said, well, if you don't want an abortion, you don't need to have one. Well, I'm glad that they're starting to admit it. That also just kind of puts out how radical they've always been, but they've been hiding it. So, hi guys. Are you going to Warped Tour today?
No, but
What? You're dressed for Warped Tour and you're not going?
no, but I did go see My Chemical Romance.
Oh,
So
I saw Falling in Reverse a couple of months ago.
nice.
Yeah, do you like them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like Ronnie? Yeah, Sam. I like Ronnie a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're asking people today for our YouTube channel, if you could grade Donald Trump, a letter grade, A through F, what would you give him?
Oh, F.
F.
Yeah.
All right. Why so?
Because he's not done anything he said he was going to, and he's covered up everything, and he's pardoning everybody who was ever mean, who was ever nice to him, and he's punishing people who were ever mean to him, and that's not how politics should work.
Okay. Devil's advocate here. You said he hasn't kept any of his promises. One of his big promises that a lot of people voted for him on was securing the southern border. In the past 6 months, there have been 0 illegals that have been allowed to be released into the United States that have crossed and interacted at the southern border. That is definitely one promise that he has kept.
Unfortunately, I know a lot of people who came into the country illegally due to famine or poverty or criminal persecution, and I believe that there should be a much easier means to get into the country because, for example, one of my ex-boyfriends almost got deported. He was a white Englishman in a high-sector tech job, and he actually almost got deported because of how freaking difficult it is to enter the country illegally. If there were more legal means to enter the country, people
So
would
your
come.
boyfriend was an illegal immigrant?
Yeah. He had his green card by the time I was dating him, but he's a citizen now and he votes and he almost got deported because it was so hard to keep his paperwork in order.
Well, do
And that
you
makes me
think?
angry.
Well, do you think that people should have the responsibility of keeping their paperwork in order if they're going to come into our country illegally and then obtain a pathway to citizenship? Isn't that fair?
No, because it is so difficult. He had a lawyer. He was doing everything he could, and they unfortunately gave him the runaround.
Okay. I'm of the opinion that if you come into the country illegally and then you go through the avenues of applying for asylum or something like that, that it is your responsibility to then keep on top of all of it, no matter who is giving you the runaround, because you committed a crime coming into the country, and then you have been given the grace of getting a pathway to citizenship when you've already committed a federal crime. And so if your boyfriend almost got deported because he couldn't keep on top of things, that's his responsibility.
Well, unfortunately, he had originally entered the country legally, and it expired before he was able to get all the paperwork in line because of how difficult it was.
Okay, so he didn't enter the country
He didn't
illegally.
enter the country illegally. It became illegal once his paperwork expired.
Yeah. So why did he let it expire?
He didn't let it.
Yeah, he did.
I don't understand how he could have done any better.
Yeah. Did he know the expiration date of his visa?
Yes, and
Then he
unfortunately,
let it expire.
there was so much backup in the court that it couldn't get
Yeah.
processed.
Yeah. Well, he should have known. He knew the expiration date. He has responsibility to respect the people in this country and our laws enough as someone who is not a citizen but was given a card to be able to take advantage of our great country. He should have done a better job. He should have taken more personal responsibility for that, I will say.
There's a lot of shoulda, woulda, coulda there. And I think that if you were not in that situation, then there shouldn't be any judgment there.
Do you think that people know when their license are going to expire and it's up to them to renew their license on time?
Not necessarily. I know I have, so I work in the exotic pet medicine field, and I had one of my friends had a western hognose snake, and she had obtained it from someone who did not know that it was illegal in Illinois to have one without a permit. So she obtained it. She knew that it was illegal to have one without a permit. She applied to Fish and Wildlife to get a permit, and they said, "Oh, you don't have a permit. There is no avenue to obtain a permit for you," and they took the snake.
Okay. So I would love to talk about snakes and exotic pets another time, but you said that people should not have the personal responsibility to know when, for example, their driver's license expire. When should adults get personal responsibility, and what situation should they have responsibility in?
Well, the unfortunate thing is that it is very, very difficult to even know some of these deadlines because the courts are so backed up.
Your license literally says when it expires. Your visa and the paperwork that everyone gets who comes here and gets a visa, it says when it expires.
So
what more do they need for them to be responsible with this privilege they've been given in this country?
So for the courts to not be so backed up, because if you have a paper and it has an expiration date on it, and you go to a lawyer and you say, "Hi, I am not educated enough to have to be able to do all this legal paperwork. I need you to do this paperwork for me." The lawyer does the paperwork, the lawyer submits it into the court, and then the expiration date passes without you hearing from the court. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, you're supposed to start that process earlier.
How are they supposed to know when to start it?
Because they have an expiration date.
But there is no posted sign on the courts that says it will take X amount of days.
That has nothing to do with my issue to let illegal immigrants stay into this country that can't. Why are people allowed to stay into the country anyway who can't take enough responsibility for themselves to get their paperwork in order to stay here? So when someone's visa expires, what should we do?
We should be able to give them grace periods. And
How long?
Well, that would be up to the judge.
No, how long? How long do you think a grace period should be when someone can't even pay attention to their expiration date? How long?
I honestly don't think you're hearing me, because what I am saying is that they're not.
Yeah. Visas last for years.
They do.
And when someone has an expiration date for years, it is their responsibility to follow up on that. If that means obtaining a lawyer the next day they get that visa, that's on them. And if they can't even care enough about our laws to let it expire, they get deported. And I think that's completely fair.
Unfortunately, I've seen what's happened in terms of people getting deported to countries that they never live in, with languages that they don't speak.
Like who? Your friends?
Everybody who got sent to Venezuela. Who
Who?
are not Venezuelan citizens.
Who?
A lot of the people who were in Alligator Alcatraz.
They got sent to Venezuela?
Yes.
Yeah.
Get up, please.
Okay. Maybe because they were Venezuelan citizens.
Actually, a lot of them were not. A lot of them were either Cuban or from Mexico.
Why are you upset when they're deported to countries they're not from, but they could come to America when they're not from America?
Because they are put in Venezuelan prisons that have extremely inhumane treatment.
I think you're meaning El Salvador.
No,
I think you're meaning El Salvador. Anyway, any other policy issues you have with Trump?
environmental.
Okay.
The border wall, unfortunately, is cutting through a lot of critical habitat, for example, the butterfly migration pathways.
Yeah. What's more important, butterfly migration pathways or making sure women and children aren't being raped and killed by gang members coming across the border?
Well, most women and children are actually raped and killed by their husbands and family members, statistically.
Okay, well, if there's extra rapists coming in, then what's the big deal, right?
Honestly, if we could process the backlog of rape kits, then we might actually get some of them convicted.
Okay. All right. Until then, we should just probably let them come across.
Honestly, I'd be fine with that.
You're fine with rapists coming over that are illegal immigrants. You're okay with that?
Well, if I knew any rapists who are illegal immigrants, that would be fine. But unfortunately, one of our local church pastors is. So.
Okay. All right. I'm not okay with even one rapist who is an illegal immigrant. If even one rapist or murderer could be stopped coming across the border illegally by that border wall, sorry, butterflies, but your time is over, and we're going to stop women and children from being raped. But if you're okay with that,
honestly, I would personally prefer that women and children stop being abused by the church and their family members.
yeah, and illegal immigrants.
Sure.
Okay.
If we could actually prove that that's what they were doing.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you know who Laken Riley was?
That's one case.
Okay. There's thousands like that. Yeah. That could have been prevented had they not been allowed to come across the border, caught, and then released back into our country. The Biden administration has a lot of blood on their hands for what they did with the biggest immigration border crisis in American history.
All politicians have blood on their hands. And they just released the Epstein files about Bill Clinton.
Yep.
So no, unfortunately, all politicians.
They do. Yeah, well, most of them do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time.
Sure.
Sorry about the butterflies. Sorry about your ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, that's what I care about.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a good day.
Thanks.
All right. I love your outfit, by the way. Farmers markets are usually always pretty calm, but there could always be that crazy liberal lurking on the road. That's why I always go with security everywhere I go, every time I film. If you want to keep me safe out here, you can go to patreon.com/Kaitlin Bennett. Even $5 a month helps support my security fund all the time. And so thank you guys. If you support my work, that's the best way to help me keep coming out here to produce it. Thank you guys so much for watching today's content. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. We have a lot of great conversations that came out of this trip. You're not going to want to miss them. Thank you.